how did, you, Jay, Dave, like, how did the Legion of Skanks come to be?
I was doing podcasts probably like 11, 12 years ago before it was like everybody was doing podcasts.
Right.
And I was doing Robert Kelly's podcast a lot and just as a guest. And me, Big J, and Dave, we were just, friends. Just friends. Me and Dave both looked up to Big J in comedy. We were, just starting out.
He's man. One of the he tells those stories is just like nuts.
The language of funny, there's almost nobody who is more fluent that can sit in a car ride and just make you laugh, sit in a script writing, stand-up, podcast, whatever it is. He just understands how to spit out the funniest verbiage, right? And that's, I'm not telling him a compliment. He's lazy as fuck, and it's all natural. Okay.
I mean, when he came in here, he was telling the story about when he used to dress up as characters for singing for kids' birthdays.
Yeah.
He was talking about just dressing up as Winnie the Pooh and singing like Dr. Dre for the fucking kid in the hood or whatever. And it was just like, this is that was one of the hardest
I've laughed on this podcast.
Yeah, he's just telling a story. It's not even like, it wasn't scripted. It's not a thing. And it's just like every word out of his mouth is the right word at the right time and the right cadence and the right,
just
everything.
Understands the timing, the spaces in between words, the silence, really gets it. And so fuck him. So, but it's funny is that story relates to Legion of Skanks and how we started. So when we, Legion of Skanks, the name came from Big J used to cheat on his wife all the time, like openly, just didn't fucking care. Just like it was. So one day she was like, "Fine, leave." Me and him were leaving his apartment to go out to shows. She's like, "Fine, leave. Go be with your Legion of Skanks." And me and him both looked at each other. We're like, "That's a fucking great band name." And we were playing Guitar Hero. That's all we did was play Guitar Hero. So our Guitar Hero name, like 12 years ago, 11 years ago, was Legion of Skanks. And for like a year or two, that's all it was.
Fucking grimy.
It was just a Guitar Hero.
Yeah, it was a Guitar Hero name for like 2 years. And then we wrote a script based off of that job that Jay had. And it was about Jay doing this job where during the day he would dress up as kids' characters and at night he would drive around strippers. His two buddies who would sort of accompany him for rides. And Legion of Skanks, me, Jay, and Dave were written into this script. We actually just did a table read of that script with Ari Shaffir on his YouTube channel. You guys can go listen to that. It was terrible. And so that's what it was for a while. We pitched the script around for a while. And honestly, it's just because we're not creative. We just used the name again. We were like, we're going to use it for something. So eventually it became the podcast name. And yeah, dude, I mean, it kind of, I feel like it's like, it applies now in a weird way. It's like with the fans and the crew. Yeah. It's like you're your own version of that now. It sort of like just came because it was his wife talking about these chicks that were, but it really we became the Skanks. The fans became this Legion. They call themselves Skanks, and it's become a thing where people, they really feel like they're a part of it, and that's podcasting in general, right? So podcasting, when you sit down, the reason podcasting is such an incredible medium, radio, podcasting, all of it, is because people feel as if they not even feel like they truly are. You're sitting down and you're listening to a piece of content be created. And it can never be created the exact same way again. The dynamic, people could be in different moods, even if it's the same two people, right? Things that are going on, it's like a fingerprint. No two podcasts are going to be the same. Even if somebody
you ever lose a podcast, like it wasn't recording or whatever, and you try to like recreate it.
Oh, it's not happening.
Can't do it.
You got to literally go another day. New day. Don't even try to go back.
Don't even talk about the same topics. Like you cannot recreate it. It's impossible.
And I think people like podcasting because they get to listen to that very natural flow of conversation, and you come up with these ideas, these unique concepts, these personalities come together, and you go, holy shit, we came to this conclusion. And it's a little bit of compromise for everybody involved, and that's what's incredible about it. And I think that's when Spotify came out and they were talking about how they wanted to have the right to edit some of Rogan's stuff, and that was, I think, what made people freak out. Because you're like, well, no, even when Rogan gets it wrong, who cares? That's a part of the process. You go like, oh shit, he got it wrong. Okay, he's having a conversation. Everyone gets shit wrong every fucking day. You talk about relatability. We're all getting shit wrong. We all get facts wrong. So why can't you be a fly on the wall? And why can't somebody get something wrong? Why does he have to issue an apology? And why does it have to be, mainstream
That's what I said.
news?
Like when you find out that a podcaster got something wrong, you just go like, oh, shit, you got it wrong. That's it.
Shit.
Like that's just how, that's the reaction. When you find out that your buddy said something wrong in a conversation, It's like, I believed him in the moment, but I realized it's wrong. It's not the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
But I'm always interested. I mean, we've been doing this for almost 9 years now, eight or nine. So I mean, there's very few that we come across that have been doing it longer than us.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's always. I mean, is there anybody who precedes you guys that you like?
That I mean,
look up
Bobby
to,
Kelly
whatever.
was Bobby Kelly. I don't know if you guys have a Bobby in here, but he's
No, not yet. That's one guy we got to check off. Was he doing like a podcast or was it like comedy?
Yeah, no, he was doing a podcast. Robert
podcast?
Kelly's You Know What Dude podcast.
Yeah, so
and
that's
Bobby,
that's got to be what, like pushing 15 years?
Probably 12 years ago, something like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I started doing it on his network. He created a podcast network before anybody had podcast networks, and yeah, Bobby is one of the funniest people on the planet, and his show was great. I mean, it was an extension sort of the Opie and Anthony world, and I didn't even grow up on it. I grew up on Howard Stern. I listen to Howard Stern every day, you know, on my way to high school. But I think that a lot of those fans, they didn't have anywhere to go. You know, Opie and Anthony
kind of lost. Yeah.
When, they were like, what do we do now? And I think some of these podcasts now sort of are carrying the torch. And I think that, you know, a lot of it is just leftover people being like, yeah, I want to laugh at some fucked up comedy. And it just doesn't
Is there
exist.
anybody you guys think of as like a competition, I guess, in that regard of like, we're the dirtiest, we're the most offensive, we don't give a fuck?
No,
I really don't think there's many left, man.
No, there's nobody that's doing it like we. I mean, there were competitions is the wrong word. Like there's guys like, you know, Tony Hinchcliffe, Kill Tony. Like those guys don't give a fuck. Those guys are doing some, you know, some ballsy shit, and they don't. We go on their show. They don't give us any restrictions. I mean, obviously, we were on Anthony Cumia's network for a while. Cumia and Compound Media, what they're doing over there, they don't give a fuck at all. But in terms of mainstream and guys that are, you know, out there, I don't think really everyone's afraid to take risk. Everyone's just afraid to lose that opportunity. I mean, there are people that won't do Legion of Skanks as guests because, like, dude, I don't want to like
can't even be associated with.
Yeah,
it's not even like what you say. It's like,
sure.
just don't be on the show.
For sure.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah. Like you could go on there and be as proper as you want.
Yeah.
And denounce everything you guys are saying, but just the mere fact that you're on it would be
people
too much. I just want to get my money right and then go say whatever I want. Just
right? That's
fucking gotta get there.
I'm
Once
going
on set. Like,
listen, one day I'm
baby.
gonna show up on Legion of Skanks in blackface, and you'd be like, "Oh shit, Lewis has got 10 million in the bank." Yeah. Just realize
Hit Powerball or some shit.
I'm gonna because I used to say I was like, all right, I'm gonna get enough money and then I'll just disappear. I'll just fucking you'll be like, where's Lewis? He's gone one day. But that's not even it. I'll get so much money that I won't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what happened with like
the
Howard
best.
Stern. It's why Stern didn't apologize when they caught him using the N-word and in blackface and doing all the prosthetics. He was like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking cancel me? I'll buy an island. I'll literally buy an island. You can't do anything."
That's what he's saying. When you get the money and when your fan base is bigger than the mob, it's like you can't cancel me.
That wasn't even news. It was like
That was a blip on the radar.
It was. I don't even think it got a blip.
Yeah.
It was,
He just didn't. He was like he didn't apologize. It was great, you know.
Yeah.
And people that hate on Stern,
I mean,
like,
it was, he said something like, "Yeah, I'm an asshole."
he was like, "Yeah,
I've always been
that's
an
what we
asshole.
did." He was like, "Would I do it again? Maybe, maybe not." He wasn't even like. He was so like, "Oh, what are you gonna
Yeah,
do?"
just double down.
Yeah,
you know?
it was beautiful. It was a great moment. I think that's the way you handle it, because the reality is, it's bully mentality. So that woke mob and that cancel culture mob. All it is bully mentality.
It's
right?
like reverse bullying in a way. Like they're usually the ones who got bullied who are now bullying
exactly.
back.
By the way, I've coined the phrase reverse bullying so many times because it's all these people. They do it online. Some chick will be like, they talk shit about you, and then you're like, "Fuck you, bitch," and all your friends are like, "Yeah, fuck you, fat bitch," and she's like, "Look, everyone's bullying me." It's like, no. You reverse bullied me, and now you're dealing with the wrath of it. So
Right, and we always just run into that too. It's like you're not used to talking shit to somebody who has like a big fan base who's going to get offended as well. Well, we usually tell our fans like, let us handle it because we know how to do it, you know, better.
Of course.
But yeah, it's like, you know, you don't run into many people that have a legion of people who are going to be like, fuck you.
But
know?
that they want a reaction, so they want to see you move, right? So they go like, "Oh, cool, you'll apologize. I just want to see that you can apologize." They don't even really give a shit.
Listen, if you made it this far into the video,
Which is far. Like, no one ever does that on the internet.
like it's the end. You made it to the end of the video.
full fucking video
You
you
watched
did.
the whole thing. So if you liked it and you watched the whole thing, why don't you subscribe?
It means you like us.
Click the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm gonna fucking murder John.
And I'm going to like it.
Kill him with my bare fucking hands. Yeah. And if you weren't sold on this video, there's plenty more. Watch what's next up and then subscribe. But just subscribe so I don't have to fucking kill him.
Well, I don't know. Do what you want, but subscribe. Probably.